Like, my reputation will precede me. Like, I'm a person that is trustworthy. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to do something if I don't know I can do it or not. I'm going to tell you that what I tell you that I'm going to do is because I know that I can do it. And then, trust is everything in business, right?
All right, guys, I am excited today. I have somebody who is helping me out with my business. Thanks for listening today at the KR27 podcast. I'm excited because this has grown a lot. We're doing videos now. So make sure you're subscribing to the podcast, man. If you like what we're doing, please share it. I would love for people to get something out of this. But today we have here with us James. James is one of my close friends who I met on Facebook. Like a lot of these guys I've met on the program. How's it going today, James?
It's going good. It's hot in here in Puerto Rico, but I turn on the AC, so I'm good.
Damn, you're in Puerto Rico right now.
Yeah. I'm like, this is home for me, but really I have a house also in Oregon. So I'm just here in the house that I grew up, visiting family and having a good time while still working. So
yeah. The entrepreneur life, man. All you need is a laptop. For me, yeah, man, even when I do the podcast sometimes, as long as I have the laptop and I have my little setup, I can still record a video, right? So it's kind of fun, but cool, man. So you're in Puerto Rico right now. How long you been out there for right now?
I got here on my birthday, July 18. I turned 28.
Happy birthday.
So that was like my thing. Like, I went to Miami first. There I went to my first in-person mastermind. It was incredible. And then from there, on my birthday, I traveled here on July 18 and being here since. And a lot of food, a lot of like going to the beach and like eating. Like, it's been great.
I like how you mentioned food and eating twice. That's how you know he's living the good life. Good food.
Yeah, it's
like
food, so much food.
Eating,
it's so much food.
More food. It's exciting. Yeah, man. But hey, so for some people who may not know, what's a mastermind, man, and whose mastermind did you go to out there in Florida?
So I went to Agency Tycoon's mastermind, and a mastermind was when people get together in order to like help others, teach and share ideas and really like just lift each other up ultimately so you can scale your business. That's the ultimate goal.
Awesome, man. That's exciting, dude. So how did that went pretty well? How many days was it?
It was a 2-day thing, Friday, Saturday, and it was more like a 1.5, like a full-on day on Friday, and then Saturday was a half day. Then the second half of the day, we went on 2 yachts and we hang out together after, we did all like the business networking, the learning from people doing like 100,000, 300,000, even to $1 million a month. It was great to not only learn from them, but also hang out with like the human version of them, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you say that, man, because it definitely does make a difference. I've actually put a lot of thought into that lately. Back in, and a lot of people, I don't know, I've mentioned this a few times before, but I met, the first time I've met somebody from online, right? Besides online dating. The first time I met somebody online was Omir, right? And we had talked for a while on 7FA, and I've talked about Omir many times. He's an amazing human being, man, and I hope he hears this episode because I'm talking about him. But I remember, he did a lot for me, man, when I was coming up and as I was starting the agency. And there was times where he would get on Zoom with me and I told him I wanted to quit, dude. And I've told this story so many times and I'll tell it again and I'll tell it again, dude. He was in Mexico, having fun, partying, still working, but partying with everybody from like, the group, the people that are making $100,000, $200,000 a month. And this guy, I tell him, oh, I'm going to quit. And he goes, dude, you can't get on Zoom with me right now. Give me 30 minutes. He gets on Zoom with me. Doesn't have to. Like, just to lift me up and tell me to basically stop being a little bitch. And it's like, and he's like, dude, either you're gonna do this or you're not gonna do this, but make up your mind that you can't just, if you quit, you're gonna remember, you're gonna probably regret it, and then, because the reason I was quitting, it wasn't because I wasn't doing good, it was because I didn't think I was good, right? And that's a horrible reason. But anyways, I remember when he was moving to Colombia, dude, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna fly out there and go meet this guy before he leaves. So I literally got on a flight on Thursday because he was leaving on Sunday. So I could meet up with him on Friday and Saturday, hung out with him. And it was such a different vibe, man, when I hung out with him in person. Then I got to meet somebody else that was in 7FA that also lived in San Diego at the time. And it makes a huge difference, because you go and you meet these people online and you get these cool relationships, but then you meet them in person and it's even like, it lifts you up even more. You get more excited, and it's like, because now you have so much in common too, because you've been talking and you have the same mindset and stuff. It's definitely it's exciting, dude. It is a type of emotion, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you definitely feel a certain way, right?
Mm-hmm. Because like, I don't know. There's nothing like the human connection. There's nothing like just being in person. Like I'm glad, and I consider this a blessing that we can have these conversations in real time. We can see each other. We can't feel each other, but we are getting as close as possible.
Yeah.
I'm in Puerto Rico and you're in the west side of the United States. So, and that's great. But being there in person, I was like, damn, like this is it. Like I want to do more of this. Like I want to now like learn, and then also like just get the benefits of like being in person with these people and get more get closer than just like talking business. And yeah, that's something that I want to definitely do more.
Yeah.
And even make it as a goal. Like one thing, I want to be organizing my own masterminds at some point, and that would be amazing. But first, like gotta start attending to more of them in person, because virtual is just not the same. So yeah, and let me see if I can build something here in Puerto Rico too. It'd be cool.
So tell me, man. Tell me. I mean, I know, but I want everybody to know. Like, what is it that you're building, man? What do you got going on? What's your business? What's your motto? And what do you got going on over here?
So yeah, I'm the CEO of Imperium Authority, which is a public relations firm, and we focus on helping entrepreneurs increase their authority and visibility, and bottom line, just take control of their narrative online. And the way that we do this is by leveraging three main things, which is getting you connected with top media publications, making sure that your message is congruent and on all platforms, and especially banking on Google as a place to where we post all like your content, matching and everything to get you ranking. So when people Google you, they see your press, but they also see other stuff like your content that matches, and podcast tours, which also like we optimize this to match the same message. So press, websites, and Google, everything combined on one congruent message, and that's the way that we help people. And then it goes to whatever the person needs more at the moment. So if you want to start with press, or you want to start with SEO work, or you want to start we're getting into podcast tours because it's the most beneficial at the moment, and then we can move on to other phases.
Awesome. Yeah, man. So, and I know that's something I spoke with somebody else as well in the past in the podcast, and it's press is very important. Getting your name out there is very important. And I think, something I know me and the other person talked about as well, is with the PR and all that stuff, it's all about your brand, right? And it helps you out such big time for you to do whatever you need to do in order to get your name out there. Like I know me and James, we're working together on a lot of press stuff. The goal is Forbes, right? That's the goal. Forbes and Fox. That's the goal. Give us 6 to 12 months. We're gonna get there. But man, that's great, man. You're helping a lot of business owners, and getting your name out there is not just about like, oh, look at me, I'm cool, I got my name out there. It's also about getting that authority to show people that your business is very, very important, right? And you wanna, like, even if you own like a restaurant, right? If you're on an article, people are gonna want to go eat there, right? People, if people don't know you, people are gonna talk about you. People are gonna get your name out there for sure, man. It's so what's your goals with the business? I mean, how long have you had it? And then, like, what's your goals coming up right now?
So yeah, I've been in business since June of last year. So it's been a year and some change. What's like a learning curve in the beginning and stuff, but like as soon as like this year 2021 has been great for the company, and the business has been booming really, and like everything in 2021, everybody's like, okay, comeback season, like COVID, and even though we're struggling right now, what helps is that you can position yourself in front of people, but if you don't have something to like trust indicators, like how I like to call them, and getting featured in the media, it's a clear trust indicator. So that's that's what we have presented to people. Like, look, if you want to not only just have like the visibility and be in front of people, but also like when people associate you with those logos like Yahoo Finance, Forbes, Inc., Fortune, many more, they automatically like they trust those logos, that they trust those publications, so they automatically associate you with them. And then trust is everything in business, right? So that's
absolutely
what we press.
Yeah, that's like no, for sure, dude. It's all about that trust, right? Building that relationship. Like you can build trust in a real short amount of time if you have the right, if you're the right tonality, if you're the right person, you say the right things, and obviously if you have the right brand, dude. I mean, a lot of people buy a lot of these big brands and they don't have the best the best product, but people buy it because they trust it, right? Like all the Nikes, the Under Armours, the Adidas, all those kind of brands, right? Like sometimes they don't have the best product, but people buy it, Like one thing I tell people is like, I love seeing people running on Nike shoes. Worst shoes you can run in. They suck. Horrible shoes.
I heard, yeah.
But people wear Nikes all the time to run because it's Nike, dude. Doesn't matter, it's like it really is a big thing, for you to get your name out there and get branded, and kind of and you're helping out all these people, mostly through COVID and stuff. It's been a hard situation for business owners, to go through the situation. Businesses getting shut down, people losing their savings, their money, and to be able to spend the money in the right place to be able to get more business, that's definitely a great thing. I know we spend money with you, we trust you, and you've helped us out. So, man, it's huge. But tell me more about, because everybody hears that you're helping all these people, right? How did you struggle though when you started this? Because people weren't gonna trust you in the beginning, right?
Yeah. So, what I banked on in the beginning, it was on my person, right? Like I was dealing with people, like just people to people. That was like my sales. That was just, look, this is me. This is what I do. Yes, I'm just starting. My fulfillment does have a lot of experience. So yes, my brand is starting, but the person that I'm using for this fulfillment is not. So I banked on like, look, I am the face, I am the brand, I'm the one that's doing the sales, the outreach, the client management, but like I have a fulfillment that is doing this for me, that's been doing it for years. So it's not, so I bank on that, and I bank on my person. Like I'm an Air Force veteran. You can ask that, my reputation will precede me. Like I'm a person that is trustworthy. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to do something if I don't know I can do it or not. I'm going to tell you that what I tell you that I'm going to do is because I know that I can do it. And just by doing that and just having genuine connections with people, I managed to get my first few clients. And now getting reviews, testimonials, all that from them, and getting my own press. Right after I got my early success, started doing my own thing. Right, like if I think that press is something you should do, it's something that I should do too. Right, because it's what I believe in. And I started doing my own press. Started going to TV, press releases, podcasts, and stuff. And now we're here doing another podcast. And
I love a couple of things you mentioned that I want to bring up. Number one, you said you're in the military. I think that's awesome. First of all, I don't think I've ever told you, and I'm sorry if I haven't, but appreciate your service there. Thank you so much. I think that's a huge thing, man. When you're in the military, you kind of already have some type of structure. You learn structure. That's which is huge in I think in people's lives, right? A lot of people are like, oh man, like why would I go in the military? They don't pay anything, things like that, right? There's the bads and the goods, right? But if you're gonna take some of the goods, just looking at the goods, there's a lot of structure, right? And you learn to structure your life. I've seen that with people who come out of the military, right? It's very, very structured, and that helps out in your business. Plus people always seem to have more trust. If you trust someone to protect your country, you're probably gonna trust them to, to help you with some PR, right? And then, the other thing you were saying was, excuse me, just how like you're basically just trying to earn that trust by talking to them, right? And making sure that they understood that you were trying to be there for them, and that you were doing the same things for yourself that you were gonna do for them. And I'm huge on that. I'm a huge proponent of that, right? We run a marketing agency, but then we also run ads for ourselves. Most of our clients come from ads. They don't come from, just organic, right? Not just talking to them. Now we get a lot of referrals and stuff from our clients or past clients, which is great, because even clients who have left the service, right? They still send us referrals because they know it works. They may just have left because they can't afford it or whatever at that time. But dude, it's pretty cool. So it's like the fact that you're doing what you're preaching, to me, it's huge, right? Same thing with the finance stuff that we do. Same thing as well. Like, dude, I tell people, oh, do this and that, but I do it too. And I think that makes a huge difference. When you're buying what you're selling, it makes it easier for people to want to trust you, because you're like, dude, I have the same things. I do the same thing. Look me up. I have PR too, right? And that's why, like, for me, like it's easy for me to say, like, oh yeah, you should do PR. It has nothing to do with me trying to say I get nothing out of selling James' services. I'm just telling you should, because I do it, So no, I like that, man. I like what you're saying there. Yeah, definitely huge, man. Now, with that being said, I know that obviously everything was a struggle and stuff like that. Did you have to like work part-time, or you're trying to get the business going? Did you have like a job, or were you just like just jump ship and said I got some money saved up, or how did that go?
So for me, how it went is I was in this kind of what I call like a safe haven space, because when I decided to start my business, I was coming back from my second deployment. It was a COVID deployment too, so I got delayed and everything, had to deal with COVID overseas. Not fun. And then I came back, and I knew I was getting out, and I already had a job lined up with Intel Corporation in Oregon. So I was like, okay, I know that I have a job lined up. I know that, there's COVID. I can go out that much. Just came from deployment, so I came with some money. So that was my cue. It's like literally have no excuse to start. I have no excuse. I have I'm getting paid. I'm not working that much. I'm getting out of the military. Like, it's everything. So I lined up that, and I was like, okay, let's start looking for what's gonna be my business. And after like researching and failing at doing my own brand of e-commerce and stuff, like not failing really, I just figured out that I just didn't like it. I was just like, this is not my thing. I don't want to have inventory and stuff. And that's why I got inclined to do services. And then I was like debating between like financial services and then I discovered PR, and I was like, financial services is cool to know and everything. But like, it just, for me, just resonated more the PR. and I started doing outreach, started branding myself, and everything was working. So it kind of everything clicked. So it became my thing. It was like, okay, this is it. Like I committed, and I'm doing PR, and my company's Imperial Authority, and I'm going for it. And when I decided during that, you know, getting out and stuff, there was a lot of changes, right? Like I had to get out of the military, so that was a lot of a process. And I got a house. Like I visited my family right before starting on a new job and everything. So I kind of wanted to do all those things. So I was a little bit like losing focus and stuff. I wasn't like 100%. So when I started at Intel, and I was still like, okay, I was doing both, and I was like, okay, I don't like Intel. This is not my thing. It's a good job. It is. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't for me. I'm an entrepreneur. I knew it that since a long time ago. And I decided, like, I'm gonna work, like, even if I have to work like 80 hours a week, I'm gonna do it until I make successful. Because if not, it's just not worth it. Like, life is not gonna be worth it for me if I'm just gonna be on a 9 to 5 and all the time thinking what if, and like I want to live a better life. Like, so I did that sacrifice that even in my lunch breaks, I was taking calls. Like it was crazy. Like I was like like I'm in the bathroom sending messages on LinkedIn to get people. Oh yeah, like schedule people there and Zoom calls. Like every single moment that I have, like eating and doing things, and that got me couple clients, especially my first big client was a $15,000 package. And when I managed to like close that, and then he gave me a referral and closed the other person, I was like, okay, I can do this. Okay, I can do this. And that gave me that validation. And I was like, okay, I have enough money saved up now in with these clients and stuff. So I decided to step out of Intel. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that full time. And it's been like, like 3 or 4 months now that I'm being full time on the business. And I couldn't be happier. You know, it's a lot of work. There's always so many things to do, but being full time on the business, completely focused on this is being amazing for me. And I can see how I am on that pivotal point that is gonna, like, I want to scale. Like I'm getting to that there. I'm putting everything, all the systems together so I can do that scale.
Got it, man. Yeah, no, I like, there's a few things I like that you mentioned there. You know, I think it's important to know that, and I mentioned this in a lot of episodes, it's everybody has their own path, everybody's different, you know. But I think it's cool that you did try to have a job, right? And you did have a job, and you had money saved up. You really could have just left and then done this, right? But you didn't know what you were gonna do, so you might as well go work, right? Make some money. But you knew it wasn't for you, like when you were there, right? You already knew the 9 to 5 life wasn't for you. And I think, you know, a lot of people feel that way, but a lot of people won't jump. And a little people jump, they get a little scared, and they get back out of the water. You know, they go back to their job. You know, is another thing is you were saying, like, you really just got like 1 or 2 clients, and you were like, all right, I gotta go. Let's go do this because I can do it. You know, it reminds me of a lot of. I was watching this when I quit my job about 2 years ago. I was watching the Joe Rogan video, and he was talking about how, like, sometimes all you gotta do is like get 1 client, and if you don't really have any responsibilities, you're like, fuck it, dude. I got 1 client, I'm out. You know, I can do this. You know, now obviously it's different for everybody. Everybody has their own path, and some people may listen to this and be like, oh, well, I was in the military. Oh, well, I didn't have money coming in like that. Oh, well, you know, I didn't get to work at Intel. Good job. And then, you know, I can't just get a client. I have responsibilities. But it doesn't matter, right? You can do what you were doing, which is, you said it yourself. I was working a job, but on my lunch. What do you do on your lunch? Sleep? If you want to get the hell out of your job, you can't be sleeping on your lunch. You were sending messages. Right? Like, you were sending messages on your lunches, you were taking breaks and trying to take calls for your business while you're working at 9 to 5, trying to take calls after work, right? Working, you know, whatever hours you have to work after work in order to get things going, you know. And I'm sure there's moments where you doubted things. I'm sure there's moments where you got lazy. It happens. We're human. We're not perfect, right? But I think it's great that you're mentioning the fact that, some people might listen to this and be like, oh, I can't just jump. I'm not 27 years old where I don't have no responsibilities. I don't come out just military. It doesn't matter. Because when you came out, you had a 9 to 5 and you said, let me go try to do this. And it wasn't like a bad job, dude. Intel's pretty fucking good. You can move up there and make good money, And, you were you were doing whatever you needed to do to get the business going. And, maybe for some people, 2 clients wouldn't be enough. But if you keep doing what you were doing for a couple of months, close a couple of clients, and then you decide, okay, got some money saved up, let me go try to do this. And I think that's the big thing.
Yeah. And for me, another thing that I wanna, obviously I was saying like a very like high level, but it was, it got ugly for me in a way that like I was depressed. Like I was like I need to succeed in my business because I just don't like if I don't do it, like I'm miserable. Like I don't like this. So when I was in the military, I don't regret joining the military. Military was one of the best decisions that I did. But like I knew it wasn't for me. Like the same thing. I'm an entrepreneur. I've always been. So being there was just the thing that I needed at the time, and it was great. But for me, like being in the military, I always knew that it's like, okay, I could look forward to my contract is gonna end at some point and I'll be free. Like I'll do that. When I got to Intel, it's like there's nothing to look forward to other than like, well, if I bust my ass here, they'll give me a 1% increase unless there's another job that I can apply and they give it to me as a manager or whatever. But like there's really like a ceiling there that you can't get over, basically, unless you get a promotion, and the promotions are not easy. So you can be like working your ass off and be the best and just stay at the same position for until you retire. And I was like, I need something to look forward to. I need to be able to like have the motivation to work hard and like then have more things because I'm working harder, not just like, well, you're a good worker, period. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So,
and I think a lot of people feel that way, man. I think, but there's just a lot of people who they just won't take that risk. It's it's not fun. I mean, these people hear this and they hear like, oh man, he was in Miami, or he has this business going, or, like there's a lot of pretty things. And I mentioned this before. It's like you see social media, man. It's like not the best way to like pursue, like look at people, right? Social media is not. It's not always real, or you only post the good things, It's like you were saying earlier, like 80 hours a week sometimes you have to, right? I mean, you do whatever you can to take, I take calls all the time. I have my daughter and I have to figure my schedule out, right? I miss out on a lot of money because I want to make sure I don't mess up my relationship with my kid, but that's more important to me. But, it's like, yeah, dude, like sometimes it's like the whole thing of like, okay, cool, I got paid. Got all this money right now, but then you get like chargebacks, and then you get like, or you get like, you don't get paid sometimes for like 2-3 weeks. You can't close a client for some reason, right? And then all of a sudden you finally like 4th week, you blow up. It's like, it's just a hit or miss. It's very, and even if you're getting paid every week and you're making good money, now there's headaches. There's clients you got to deal with. There's people you got to, there's a whole business you're responsible for, right? Now you got employees, you got to deal with that too, right? You got to hire and fire people. It's not fun, So it's like, that's why I think a lot of people don't do it, or a lot of people try it and then they're like, 9 to 5's not that bad. There's a lot of jobs out there that will pay you a really good salary and you work a salary and you don't have to worry about, like any responsibilities, and you can also go take vacation whenever you want. Right? There's some places like that. Mostly right now with COVID, right? There's so much freedom. A lot of people are able to work from home and stuff. So sometimes like working a 9 to 5 is not a horrible thing. I think
it's not a bad thing. It's just not for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that if you definitely thinking about, oh, this isn't for me, you got to make sure you look at the both sides of everything. It's not. Sometimes the grass is not always greener on the other side. And sometimes you gotta be a little crazy. You gotta have some type of issues to do what we do. Because I really think so. It's like, I don't know who the hell wants to throw themselves in a situation where it's like, oh, let me see if I'm gonna make money or not. And everything can come down. Like, as fast as you see things come up, or as long as it can take you to come up, and literally everything can just fail in a month. The whole business can just come crashing. And things just don't work anymore. And then now you got to figure it out again. But I think it's there's there's something about certain people that just have that, they love that and they thrive on it and enjoy it. I definitely understand you, dude, when you're talking about the whole Intel. Dude, I was in banking for like 9-10 years, bro. 9-10 years. And there was like, the beginning, I didn't really mind as much, but as time went on, I was in my early mid 20s. And I think part of the reason why I stayed was because, I didn't really, my whole life was boxing when I was in my 20s. Boxing, dude. Like, that's all I cared about. I wanted to go pro. Never happened. Don't really know. Just didn't, But I went and sparred a lot, did amateurs, all that stuff. But my whole life was boxing before I was 27. Because 27 was when I had my daughter. But before I was 27, my whole life was just boxing. So I think for that period of time, that's why I never took that jump. It wasn't because I was afraid. It was more because, like, I'd rather just have the stability of the 9-to-5 just because I'm trying to do the boxing thing, right? And I need to pay bills and I had a mortgage and all that, right? You put yourself in certain situations. And could I have done it? Probably. But I didn't even know what the hell I wanted to do. So I was like, well, I don't even know what the hell I want to do. I just know I want to box, so I might as well do this, But dude, I wasn't happy, And when my daughter was born, for me, that was my motivation. And for some people, they're like, oh, I have a kid. I can't do this now. This is scary now. Like, I got responsibilities. For me, it was more like, I got a kid. I got to get the hell out of here. Like, how am I going to go tell my kid to follow her dreams when I don't even follow my own dreams? So, dude, I understand you, dude. Because I remember working a 9-to-5 life, dude, and then I would hate it, and I didn't know. And then when I quit my job, it was funny because when I quit my job, I still didn't know what the hell I was going to do. But for me, it was like my kid was my motivation. It was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to get the hell out of here.
I wanted to share something else that I was thinking, because for me, I even have to deal with like a big challenge. So majority of all my clients, all the clients that I describe and everything, they're coming from LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is my number one channel, still is, and I was relying on that a lot. And then it came the policy changes, right? And the policy changes were like, they basically changed my business. Because it's like, look, I'm limited to like a seventh of the messages and connections that I could do before and stuff like that. So that was a big thing for me, that I was like, okay, I stepped out, and then I was like, okay, LinkedIn changed. So what I was already counting on, it changed. So I had to like start looking for new ways, looking like, okay, like where I go to like networking groups, like how can I call that would connect me, would give me the right referral, like how can I maximize LinkedIn with these new policies, or like should I ignite more Facebook, Instagram, all that things, all came like at once, because it's like, damn, like my pipeline it's getting dry, like my leads are going down because I already had a system that got broken because of it. And yeah, I even hired an agency to help me with some stuff with like that. The policy changes affected that. So it was a lot of things happening. And I just didn't give up. And even though it was kind of going crazy, I was like, damn, like, come on, like I got this. And to keep going, it's like, damn, do I? Like, come on, like keep going. And it's like, damn, like it's getting nasty, it's getting like, I need a solution, right? And I seem to be able to find the solutions one way or another. And one of the main things was that I want to share on here too is in business, like main thing, it's most important thing I would say is just mindset. And I know a lot of people say it, and it might sound like broken record or anything, but it's true. Like mindset is truly everything. Like for me, I just literally like needed to believe that I can do it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I started doing that of like, first First you go for it, and then you like don't give up, and you start believing on it, and then you know. And that's something that got taught to me by a billionaire that I connected with, actually. So that was cool. And he told me like, yeah, like, you know how when I ask you, like, if I ask you like, do you know that you're do you think your grandparents love you? And like, if I ask you that, do you think your grandparents love you?
Yeah, you always say yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't doubt it. Like, you're like, no doubt.
Yeah.
And then he's like, look, I want you to have that same mentality for everything that you want to do, like in life and in business. Like, just like I know it's hard. So first you got to start believing it. And then you believe that you can do it. And then you know that you can do it. When you get to that state that you know, you have no doubt, then you can do anything that you know that you can do, right? Like, if you really truly believe that you believe it as much as you know that your grandparents love you, you know. And that's something that was given to me as an advice, and I want to share that because it was very powerful for me. And now it's something that I incorporate on my everyday life. Like, this is my everyday. I'm always like, okay, I gotta believe in this, and then I gotta know it. And I training that, and even adding like my affirmations, like every day, declaring the things that I want to be as I am already, those things. And every day, and just like, I'll figure it out. I'll do it. I can do this. And, you know, even like for funding, for expanding, for how to get a client in certain publication or everything, there's always like, there's gonna be challenges, policy changes and everything. And I just think like, look, I can do this. And I'll like, even if I have to communicate it to the client or anything, like, I can do this, I will do this, focus and just believe.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned a couple of things there, man. First of all, like, I really like your little saying. I never heard that. That's super cool. You know, like have that same mentality that you have, like, us when you feel like, oh, you know, my grandparents love me, or my parents love me, right? You know that. You need to know. You need to believe in yourself the same way, right? Obviously, I'm a big believer that everybody, no matter how much you believe in yourself, you have moments of doubt. I think everybody does. But that's why you have to surround yourself with people who have that same mentality as you. Because when you have those moments of doubt, somebody's going to be there to tell you, stop being stupid. Like, you know, and it's and that's why you know, I was telling you before we got into the podcast, like, for me, like, you know, with me, same thing, you know, or when we were talking earlier, you know, it's like, I had somebody there that kind of was like, oh, dude, you're being stupid, you know. And I think everybody has that, you know, no matter what. Not to a certain extent. I think the more successful you become, the less you have it, you know. But mostly in the beginning, it's the harder time, right? It's like, oh shoot, like, you know, can I really do this? You know, and then you, as an entrepreneur, I think you always try new things, right? So there's always going to be a little bit of doubt, because then now you're trying something different. You're like, well, is that going to work? You know? But I think that what you're saying is cool, man. Like, you know, hey, you know, you got to believe, like, as much as you love your grandparents. I think that's such a good saying there. It's like, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to understand that, you know, that no matter what you're thinking, like, you got to be able to do it. And I'm very strong on, like, what you put out to the world and out there, it's gonna come back, you know. That's what, like, you know, like, I've always, like, said, like, I don't know, some people always like, well, they always want to talk to me, and that's why we have the podcast now, right? Because people love talking to me, and I'm like, why? But then it's because I'm always like, just like, I'm always willing to listen to other people. Like, I don't expect anything back out of it. I'm just like, yeah, dude, like, what's going on? Like, you good? Like, you know, whatever. And so I have a really good way to connect with people. And that kind of really comes back to me because people want to connect with me. You know, I've talked to people who are way ahead of me, not just financially, but mentally, health-wise, everything. And they've always been willing to help, and they've never asked for anything in return. You know, and that's just because, like, it's kind of like what you put out there. You know, what you put out there, and you know, I've mentioned my faith before in here in the podcast before, and I have no shame in doing it, and I don't care if you believe in it or not, but I do. And you know, I'm a very faithful person, and you know, I'm not religious, but I'm faithful. And I think that, you know, everything you ask for out there, man, it comes back. If you want something and you ask for it, even if it's not to, like, God, but just in your mind and in the world, it really, you will get it. You really will get it. You know, I've seen it happen. You know, I've seen like myself tell like, oh damn, I gotta close this client. Like I really like I have to. Like I'm gonna close this client. I just know I'm gonna close this client. The client will close. And then there's times when I'm like, whatever, we'll see what happens. And the client won't close. You know, so it's like, yeah, no, I like that. I like that little saying you have there, man. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
You really do get what you put out there.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you say that about like faith and stuff, because I guess that's why like we relate to each other a lot too, because like you said too, like I'm not a religious person. I never will be. I don't believe in like just following these rules of like going to church and all that. It's just like I was raised Catholic and just not my thing. Like I was just forced on it. And for me, like I always been like a spiritual person, but lately I would say that when I was saying like all those challenges that came in with like the LinkedIn and everything, it's like, come on, like I need clients and I need people in my pipeline and all that. I got to a point that I was like, again, kind of like getting depressed and stuff. It's like, damn, like, come on, like what's happening? Like, I know, like I need to figure this out. And I started like, I felt like I got like, because of the people that I connected with, my conversations and everything, I felt like I got like an awakening to connect more with my spirituality. And for me, that's part of like, the affirmations and all these things, being grateful, of like staying humble. It doesn't matter like the success or anything, and all those like little things. For me, it's why like being spiritual and looking for ways to go beyond of just like what is in front of your eyes, more like imagining this and then like believing it and then knowing it, right? Like, and that all connects with that spirituality. One thing that I heard from Tony Robbins that it was very powerful. He said, like, you gotta remember that life is not happening for you. No, it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. So it's not like it's something that is happening to me that I like. No, it's happening for you. Like things are happening for you, and even if it's for you to learn or for you to grow or for you to just experience something that will be beneficial for you later on, that it's just part of like life happening for you, not to you. It's not something that is attacking you, that is just like that you burden or anything. It's something that is happening for you to grow and to be the person that you're meant to be. And all like the little things that I get from like Tony Robbins or like Mr. Johnson or like other people in my network that I talk to, then those things have helped me live a happier life, because being an entrepreneur, you don't know when you're gonna get your next pay. You don't know when things are gonna happen. You have your structure and you can start predicting things based on information that you already have, like your data, but really, like, you don't know. So you have to think to know something.
You can, and like I said, dude, you can be making money every single week closing clients, and then you have this huge chargeback, right? Or you have clients all of a sudden be like, I want to cancel or complain or whatever, So it's like, yeah, dude, I get it. It's but yeah, I'm glad that you said that too. Like, with it is what you put out there, man. It's a lot of what you put out there, and life does happen for you. Everything, you become the person you're supposed to be, right? Like I used to be so big on like, like, man, all these guys are so young and they already started way before me. Like I'm so behind, blah blah blah. And then I realized, I was like, these guys don't know shit about finance. These guys don't know shit about investing. They don't know anything about taxes. They don't know how to run a business. They don't know, dude, all this stuff that I already knew that they don't know, right? But one thing about being young is you have one advantage over anybody, no matter, like, if you're between like, I think like 18 to like 23, 24, you have a huge advantage over everybody, which is you have almost zero fear because you have no responsibility. And I think that's the only one advantage that I will say that they have, right? A lot of these young kids that I talk to, they close clients, they're making 6 figures, and they're like, some of them are still like finishing high school, You know, and it's crazy.
Living with their parents.
Living with your parents, right?
Making
It's like
money from their house.
dude, it's crazy, right?
I've
like,
seen it, man. I've seen it. It's crazy.
But you know, and props to them, dude. Like props to them. You know, like you said, like life happened for them the way it happened. You know, but certain things happen for you for a certain reason. You know, think that we all become who we're supposed to become in a certain way, and there's also choices, right? Your life can literally change based on like one simple choice. You know, like for me, like you know, I made that simple choice, just leaving my job, and I can never go back, dude. Never go back to a 9-to-5 job ever in my life, dude. If the business failed, if everything failed, I would find a way to make money in the meantime to get by, you know, just to, dude, you know, just because I cannot see myself, dude. Like, and if I did for some reason have to go back to like a 9-to-5, you would see me there for like 2 months to make some cash, dude, just because I gotta feed my kid, and I'm out because I'm not staying. You know, but I just don't see myself doing that, dude. I would just honestly just keep opening business after business after business till something kicks in.
Or become a sales rep or something, like whatever, but no 9-to-5. Like for me, I promised myself that I was just not gonna go. I'm not gonna apply for another job. Like, cause even like when I was in that struggle that I'm starting at Intel, I'm like, damn, everybody's working remotely. I gotta go to this fab here and whatever, and just wear a bunny suit. Like to go to the bathroom, you gotta take all this thing because it's a clean room. It's a mess. I was like, this is just like, should I just look for another job? And that's when I promised myself, I was like, no, like stop looking for another job. Just go for your business, like go ham in your business and get it successful, and don't apply for another job.
It's funny. It's funny you say that too, because like when like my girl told me before, she was like, I told her one time, I was like, yeah, if you know, I mean, I know that at least worst case scenario, if something doesn't work out, you know, I can always get another job. And she tells me, you're never gonna get another job. You can never work a job in your life again. You can just see it. And I'm like, yeah, I can't. I just can't. I just love the freedom of my time. You know, some days I could work 16, 17, 18 hours a day. And some days I work 2 hours, you know, and it's like, and some days, you know, I make a lot of money. Sometimes I don't make any money. And there's more stressful days and there's non-stressful days, but I don't care. I control my time, you know, and there's nothing like that, man. Just like we were talking about earlier, right? Like, all I need is a laptop. I mean, I have literally a trip planned almost every single month this year, dude. You know, like this month, I don't know where the hell I'm going, but I know I'm going somewhere for my birthday in a couple of weeks, right? Then, you know, like, and that's the thing, like, I don't even have to have a whole plan, dude. I'm like, oh, well, let me see what I'm gonna do in a couple of weeks. You know, I can just take a plane wherever I want. I don't have to go ask anybody, you know? As long as it fits in with my kid's schedule, right? Because whenever I don't have her, that's when I try to leave. So it's like, and then next month I go to Vegas, and then I'm gonna go to Disneyland with my girlfriend. And then, you know, October, I may go to Mexico because my boy's fighting. And, you know, November, I'm going to Vegas because I got a trip planned. December, I may go to New York. You know, it's like, it's crazy, dude. It's like I have a trip planned almost every month, and it's like, don't have to worry about anybody telling me like, oh, you can't go. You know, oh, sorry, that day we don't have enough coverage. Dude, I remember those days. I remember like working that life, and I just can't. And it's funny too, because when in my 20s, I never traveled. Never cared to travel. Didn't care. I was like, whatever, I don't really care. Then I met my girl, and she likes to travel. I mean, you know, she's into it. And then I met Omir, and that was huge. Once I flew out to San Diego in February one time, I was like, damn, I'm missing so much out in the world. I'm always like stuck at home, and I work remotely. What the hell am I doing? It's like, I'm just trying to travel.
So I'm here, you know, I'm in Puerto Rico right now, and I was on, you know, I was in calls, and then I'm here. I'm like, it's awesome. I don't have a ticket to go back yet. Like, I'll buy it at some point, but I just
you're like, I'll buy it when I need to go back. Yeah, that's a good thing. Like for me, obviously, it's very limited just because of I do have a kid, right? I have to figure things out around her, you know, and all that stuff. But you know, I don't mind. I still get to travel. And if I want to travel with my kid, I can. She's not in school right yet. You know, she's only about to be 4. And even if she was in school, I don't give a damn. I can take her wherever I want, whenever I want, you know? That's like that benefit, you know? And it's, It's an awesome feeling, man. You may stress out. I think I stress out more than I am enjoying myself most of the time, but I don't care. Like, one of my friends, his name is Nick. He owns a roofing business. He's definitely a little bit different, right? Because he doesn't work remote, so he definitely has to, run his business so that. But he's still his own boss. He's still, if he decides he wants to go somewhere, he can go somewhere. He plan his schedule around it, right? And one thing he always tells me, which I actually really enjoy and I think is very true, is, you kind of live for this moment of like high, like a high. It's almost like when you get high, like a druggie on drugs, right? It's and that's really what we are. It's just we're addicts. We're addicted to this high, which is what he says, because it's like everything goes bad, or like there's headaches, or like even if you make some money, you're dealing with like BS and trying to get things done and da. But there's like this moment every couple weeks, months, whatever, you close like a big client and you're like, yes, right? Or like you
the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, dude, or like you get this moment where it's like, oh, I can go have some fun right now and get the hell out of here, and I just take a couple calls from my laptop. It's like, yeah, like it's just like this we live for like those little moments. But it's just, dude, it's just that freedom. It's an addicted high, dude. That's what it is. It's exciting.
And the thing is, like, yes, a lot of people say, oh, you want to, be an entrepreneur, you can have control of your time and all that. And like, yeah, you do have control of your time, but that's a sort of like two sides, because yeah, you do have control of your time, but like that means that you can work unlimited. Like you can always work. So like having that balance of like knowing when to stop at work. And then to be honest, like in the Air Force both and in Intel, like both places, like I worked less. I worked like it was repetitive stuff. It was showing up and do the work, but it's like there's no new challenges for the most part or whatever. And I ask about it, but it was just kind of like repetitive and stuff, and really like not as much work from like mentally and stuff for me. Like it wasn't as demanding. Now I work way more, but I work on my own terms. I work doing what I love. Like there's passion, and I'm willing to work twice as much for myself than working half for somebody else and be limited and not.
Yeah, man, and eventually you do get to a point where you don't work that much anymore. Like everybody that listens to this, right? It's not always gonna be like this. It's not always gonna be like, oh, like we're working so much, right? Eventually you just kind of like, yeah, whatever, And you get to that point, you decide when that is, right? If you get to $10,000 a month and you're happy, you don't have to put in that much time. Dude, $10,000 a month is a lot of money for a lot of people in America. $120,000 a year. If you live in California, you're technically still poor, but it's still a lot of money. Yeah. According to a survey, if you make less than 120K, you're poor in California. But
it's also living, especially housing, will eat up so much.
Yeah, of course, right? But if you're making 100, there's people here in California who don't even make 50 grand, So if you're making 120K, you can pay rent, you can pay mortgage, you make good money. That just, as long as you don't get yourself in a bunch of debt, like you're fine. Don't be Kevin. But if you live in any other state, 120K can go a long way. Huge way. I mean, right? You go to Texas, Florida, Wyoming, Idaho, all these states, man, that are growing. And it's like a house is like $150,000 to $200,000, man. It's like you can literally pay off your house in 2 years of salary, dude. Like it's crazy, So I mean, that's one thing that's for sure I think is huge. Is like it's that happiness, right? You have to find that happiness. For some people 10K is cool, for some people it's 30s, 40, 50, 60, $1 million a month, whatever you want to make, you're gonna create that. The more money you want, the less time you're gonna have, but eventually you can definitely separate yourself from that business, right? But you're still kind of always gonna be involved. Like people see like Jeff Bezos and they see him step down as CEO, so yeah, he has more time now, but he still has to kind of like, he's running the day-to-day operations, but he still kind of keeps an eye out on things, right? He's not gonna let Amazon burn down to the ground, And then people don't realize that he's doing other things now. That's the thing with a lot of entrepreneurs. They'll leave one business and they'll be like, oh man, that business is going, we're making money, But the thing is, they go and start another business, you know? So like, it's just what you want. It's whatever you want to do. And I think for most people, are satisfied with just making a good living, making some good money. You know, they don't have to have a Ferrari or anything like that. And they just want to have some freedom. And definitely the entrepreneur way is the way to have freedom. It's just, in the beginning, it's not fun.
Yeah. That bring, you know, like what you said, it got me thinking about, which is like the goal for us too, like making an agency instead of being just a plain entrepreneur, like one-man band, sole entrepreneur or whatever. Because like he had Jeff Bezos could step out, right? He'd step out, like, and that's the thing that it's a goal for me at least, and I know that for him, a lot of agency owners, right? You create an agency that after you decide you have a consistent lead flow, and you have your funnel like set up, your distinctive offer, your ideal client profile set up. When you have all those things, then you have a system that you can create SOPs for people and just be there, right? Because you already created it. So that's the goal. Like you said, like for me, like I want to be able to step out as a CEO at some point, right? Right now, obviously, I got to do everything. And even though I have help, I still have to do most of it. So the goal is to work as hard as I can right now, so then I can step out and then sell the business if I want to or whatever. But like have something like that, and that's why I kind of like created like the Imperium Authority. It's why I did it like without my name or without. Yeah, there's some meaning behind it, but really, it's like if somebody wants to be the owner of Imperium Authority and they pay me a couple $1 million for it, then, you know, if I have already something else to do, then I'll do it. You know, like that's a goal for me. Like if it's not step out, then sell it at some point. And because I'm a creator, I want to create things, you know, and like change the world, you know, to be honest. That's like my main goal, like at the end of the day. So but yeah, man, I just wanted to add that you know, the good example you did there, like, you know, we can create something that we can even step out of and keep running. So which is
for sure, man. Absolutely, man. Well, I'm glad you shared that, and I'm glad you shared your future goals, because I was gonna ask that and you kind of just gave it to me already there. So that's pretty exciting, man. But you know, I did want to get people to know where they can find you and stuff like that. I want to get some final thoughts, you know, just from you, so that way, you know, I don't want to take too much more of your time, but just kind of like where people can find you, you know, and obviously they can always reach out to me if they need to find you, but where can people find you if they need to reach out to you and get something going?
Yeah, I'll try to be very consistent with my username. So like James L. Fu. So if you write LinkedIn and then you put James L. Fu, comes up to my page, James L. Fu on Instagram, James L. Fu on Twitter. Like I keep it like that.
And if they Google you, me, they'll find you, right?
Yeah. And it will come up, my articles and stuff. So, and also, you know, imperiumauthority.com. That's a place that was my website, and people can contact me. The best way for me will be like LinkedIn. It's a great thing, or like even like text me. You can even text me or WhatsApp me at 787-969-4770, and I'll be happy to assist you.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm excited now. And if for some reason you guys can't find James Fu Torres, just pretty easy on Google. But if you can, just reach out to me and I can get a hold of him for you guys. He's doing some great things for us. He's already got us into what did you get us into?
Disrupt Magazine.
Disrupt Magazine. He got us to Disrupt Magazine, which was great article. We got something else coming pretty soon, and before you know it, we'll be seeing Forbes. So, but yeah, no, I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate you making the time, sharing your story. You know, great to know. You know, the whole military background. You know, being able to bounce around. You know, you quit your job. There's so much great motivation, man. And I love it. I love that. I hope that someone takes out of this, and whether it's they reach out to you for help, or you know, just kind of motivates them to kind of do their thing.
Yeah, hopefully some people can get something valuable from this, and hopefully we can also like you know, get some golden nuggets from here and post it and make micro content for other places to even impact more people that way. So
absolutely, man. And you know, I'll get you the information. So,
for sure. No, I don't doubt it.
cool. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it. I will be talking to you soon, but in the meantime, you have a blessed day.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.